how to make observations. That's one of the very first things we do. And I have the kids, oh, please light. I have the kids make observations, you know, what do you see me doing? What's happening? And the kids all write down things in their science journal. So they watch the candle burning. And I have them all making as many notes as they can. We talk about using your senses to make your observations. I tell them to keep watching, and then I blow out the candle and stuff, and they keep going. And then we have a discussion. Okay, what did you see happening? I saw this. Oh, well, you know, you clicked the thing, then you blinked your eyes. You gotta love the kids. Then you moved your head. Okay, good observation. So they start to do that, and I keep the discussion going because you can always get one of the kids who goes, I saw the wax melting and the wick was burning and all these things. And then I tell the kids, I want you to picture in your mind what a candle is made, the way it is made. The wick running down, how it's dipped in wax over and over to build up those layers. I want you to think about how hot it gets, the wax melting, that kind of thing. And I want you to think whether or not that experience, if this is possible. And I lit the candle. And the kids go, what are you doing? That's crazy. And so I explained to them that that wasn't a candle. That wasn't a wick, wasn't wax. That wasn't it. And I explained to the kids that I will not ever tell them what it is until they come and see me after high school. And they have to graduate high school. And every summer when I'm sitting in my classroom, I have these kids who come back. And the kids that are throughout the years, they'll say, well, can I find out what it is? What grade? You haven't graduated yet. You got to come back. This is one of those things that sticks with the kids, and they ask me over and what was that? Was that hikma? Was that a waxy candle thing? And they have all these guesses. And if I can do one thing that makes them think for years, I'll do it. And I tell the kids, please. We often do the, raise your hand, repeat after me. I won't tell any of the other classes about this. Otherwise, by sixth period, your activity's lame. So you want to make sure that they know not to tell anyone that I'm going to eat something weird. But that's great. Now, I'll tell you the secret, but you all have to promise not to tell any of my students. So I take a potato. That's a raw potato. I'd say that, russets taste better than the new potatoes. They all taste pretty perfect. But I usually use the big russet potatoes, and I have one of those apple cores. So I literally stab that through the middle, pull it out, cut off the top and bottom, kind of rinse it off. And I usually cut, multiple and soak them in water so that each day or each period I can just set my candle up. Then I stick an almond sliver in the top, and the oils in that almond sliver will burn. You kind of have to be careful that it only burns for a short amount of time, so you want to make sure you move the kids through the observations fast enough that you haven't lost your almond, otherwise it will extinguish on its own. You also want to have some wait time, because one time I very quickly ate it, and that almond sliver seared to the roof of my mouth, so that it was like that to the kid, and the roof of my mouth is like on fire. So give it a moment to cool before you eat the almond. That's just a tip that you may want to try that. So that's good. Tomorrow, whenever I go to the state science conference, I always come back to the kids. Usually I can bring some live microorganisms for us to look at. And then I tell them, the exhibit hall, I talked to one of the environmental groups, and they have these incredible things called sewer slugs. And they found that they can swim through this toxic water. And the more that they move around in the toxic water, that the more they're able to help purify it. And these things are really cool. And they swim up and down, and as you see them swimming through the water, they'll rise up, and they just kind of swim all over. You can even see the little air bubbles on them as they're purifying the water through their skin. And I tell them, these are amazing. And I say, and the other thing that's really cool about them is they taste good too. Oh, that freaks them out. And you get, oh my gosh, she ate it! And then I do explain this one, because otherwise the kids will go home and go, she's eating slime! It's Mountain Dew and raisins. And so the bubbles stick on the carbonation. The Mountain Dew is great because when you see it in a big jar, the kids aren't going to suspect it's Mountain Dew. And so I tell them, I brought it back. And it's great. That one just totally freaks them. I highly recommend sewer slugs. They're good. And that one tastes a lot better. Mountain Dew soaked raisins isn't nearly as bad as the potato that you got to eat that's sort of like, Yeah, you want to practice that one ahead of time, so the first time you're not going, ah, that's gross. Yeah.
Somebody also does that with string cheese.
Oh.
Because the string cheese looks
Oh yes, I guess you'd have to have it pretty solid. But I also try to do it so that, yeah, the kids can't, nobody's going to guess a potato and an almond. You know, sometimes a kid will go, is it jicama? Which could probably work. But then I go, can you set that on fire? Well, no. How about, and so, you know, they keep thinking. So it's all about trying to get them to keep thinking. Okay, creating memorable experiences.